documentary. And he was transported to Australia. But when he did his term, he was released and he bought a sheep farm. He became very wealthy. And Joe Ward's wife, Eileen, she married an American air pilot during the last war. So she was the right to be in regard to Clarence. So eventually they came over and I showed them where the old house was. And I mentioned about this happening here. And Joe unveiled the cross on that particular day. And we have a video of that actually at the show I saw recently, which was very good. And a lot of it has grown a lot older since that particular period. But that was when the cross here was erected, and of course Mr. Daly had a big hand in that. Joe Daly actually made the cross, and it was erected here. But as Dennis mentioned a few moments ago, there's a few people here mightn't be aware, but it's a very historical place, because you have Charlie Arthur Malay's castle over on my left, and you have a Norman motte there below, and of course the old early Celtic monastery here carved on top of the hill, going back to the 6th century. And I was reading in the ends of the Four Masses where when O'Neill was on his way to Kinsale 1601 with 8,000 men, he camped in the bawn of Charlie Arthur Malay's castle at Ralleen, and the following year he lost 23,000 acres for going with O'Neill to Kinsale. So you can imagine. But also, of course, the Norman motte. The Normans came in 1169 and they took over and they built the motte. You can see it still there behind the trees. And the great history attached to that also. So you have Norman and the early Celtic, and you have the English. Great pages of great stories. A particular story that an old woman used to tell me above in the mountain. She used to point over and say to me, "That's the Oatenmeal field over on the far side." And I asked her the reason why it was called that, and said it's a family of Conroys. We used to call them Conrahys. That's the way it was pronounced, the old Gaelic for Conroy. Conrahys lived there, and they had the mother and father and a young family, 5 or 6, and they had nothing to eat. So they went up across the field where a family of Dalys lived. They had a good bit of land. So the old Conroy decided that he told Luke Daly that he'd give the field for a bag of oatmeal. So the field was transferred, 3 acres of the field was transferred, and the bag of oatmeal was brought down to Conroy's. And in 1947, that was 1847, in 1947, one of the Conroys, the son of one of the Conroys, went up to Daly's and they had a chat about the field, and Luke Daly said, "I'm giving you the field back again." And Conroy man said no. He said, "I won't take it, because that bag of oatmeal kept us alive. We wouldn't be here today only for that." So little stories like that happened. That's only one that happened in the mountain. May Scully used to tell me that her grandmother told her, who lived through the famine, that he used to sow an acre of turnips, and they'd boil the turnips, and whatever bit of oatmeal they'd have, they'd mix it with the turnips, they'd bake it and make a cake, and used to eat that like a cake of bread, slice it up like a cake of bread. So you can imagine if you gave a slice of that to some of the youngsters now, or any of us, we wouldn't eat it. But they lived on that. That's what kept them alive, and that's what they lived to tell the tale. So I'm not going to keep you any longer, because a lot of people will be walking to Ballyboy. We have the ceremony in Ballyboy, and I'll hand you back again to Dennis. Thank you all again for